Welcome to Ask a Parent. My name is Luminara Sirdar. I'll be your host, and I will be interviewing John Leon today, or he'll be telling us about his resource. And if you're new to my YouTube channel or what I do, I'm a holistic healer. I help kids heal from the symptoms we call autism, to feel better in their bodies, their minds, their spirits, and to really express who they are to the world. I use neuromodulation technique, which is new to a lot of people. I use nutrition, detoxification, and I use my background in science. I studied genetics, cell biology. I was a molecular biologist. And with all this combination, my holistic healing training and other things, I just combine everything to create lasting transformations for kids. I also bring people the Autism Recovery Summit, so look for that next year. And you can find a lot of resources on my website called autismtransformed.com. And with that, I would love to introduce John Leon. He is a parent, a dad, with I think one or two kids on the spectrum. Was it two kids you told me?
Two teenage boys.
That's what I remembered. So I met John at an autism conference last year and went to his booth and saw that he had this thing called the Autism Exchange. It's a software he'll explain to us in a moment, and that it's really resources for parents that he wished he had. So he developed it along with Joni, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about how this came into being.
Sure. Thank you, Luminaire. And I appreciate
it. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but maybe you can share your screen for the website right now, because we don't have your picture on here, and just so people can see the website picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. There we go.
Okay, so this is a picture of the Autism Exchange website. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you about 6 background charts to tell you how we got to this point. It's been a long road, about 3.5 years. I've had some autism parents helping me, and we're really happy with what we came up with. So it's
Before you launch into that, can you, I remember you talking about you really wanted to provide resources, or is that what you're going to cover in your slides? Because you know how this came into.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to cover.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
So there's the website, the amazing resource. Okay.
Okay, so you see my slides?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the Autism Exchange is an online healthcare service that helps autism caregivers save time and money every day. And our logo is defined by 2 people sharing information. Okay, the next chart is our story. And I'm the father of 2 boys with autism, ages 16 and 17. And over the last 15 years, my wife and I have researched, like most other parents, numerous areas to help our boys. Doctors, internet forums, books, conferences. It's a daunting task. I think everybody online probably knows that, whether you're a parent or a practitioner. At the same time, my career includes 28 years at NASA, so I've learned how to solve very complex problems using a systems approach. In the medical field, you may say integrative approach. I've been on the space shuttle program. I spent 12 years there in Florida. And then in 1998, moved to Maryland to work on satellite design. And I was able to do some web portal design also. So my decision to do something with respect to a forum for autism parents was one frustrating night in 2014. I don't know if you can see my cursor here.
We can. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I just couldn't find the information I was looking for, and I searched like a lot of parents after the kids go to bed. You stay up till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, whatever it takes to help your kids, and I just couldn't find what I was looking for. So I was pretty frustrated because I had years of searching. And then I decided, well, maybe there's a way I could fix it without having to fix the whole internet. And my wife was talking to one of the local autism moms. Her name was Amy. And my wife would always tell her about the research that we were doing. So Amy didn't hardly do any research at all. But she said one day to my wife, I wish I could just take a plug and plug it into the back of your head and know what you know. And so when my wife told me that story, the light bulbs went off in my head. And I said, I think I can fix this problem. And that's how the Autism Exchange was born. So this is how me and several other autism parents characterize the problem. As caregivers, we spend a lot of time and money searching through a mountain of information to help our loved ones every day. Excuse me for my coughing, my allergies are a little kicked up. On the bottom here, you see conditions, symptoms, behaviors, and the history of our children. That's really all we know as parents when we start this journey. But what we learn along the way is there are a myriad of topics that we have to learn in addition to these things, like special diets, biomedical, education, therapies, and daily living services. And that's like getting Social Security and guardianship, all of that. So what do I search? That's the big question parents ask, is there's so many topics. And then how do I search? Do I go to the search engines, which most parents use? Do I go to autism websites? Do I go to social media? And I think the answer is all of the above. And where do I buy products and services to help my children and adults? And then ultimately, we're wondering how can we save time and money? Money is something that we don't have a lot of, but time is probably our most precious resource. So that's how we decided to frame the problem. And so how big is the autism problem? I think most people know this. It's been increasing about 10% a year. There's about 3.5 million Americans affected with autism spectrum disorders. And we just got the latest numbers here in late 2017 for 2016, and it looks like 1 in 36. It was bad news again. It keeps increasing. And the lifetime cost is about 1.5 to 2.5 million for those with intellectual developmental disabilities, with a whopping $200+ billion per year impact to the United States. So here you can see the growth rate. And we're already in the 2018 range projection at 1 in 36, and then it's projected to really scale up, which is very sad and unfortunate, which means more parents are going to be affected by the information problem. So this is the solution that we came up with, to integrate common internet assets into one location, allowing autism caregivers to easily locate information, products, and services to care for their loved ones. So we call it the AEX, which is Autism Exchange Platform. It has layered custom software. It took 3 years to develop. We talked to over 1,000 caregivers and practitioners. It's simple and fast as far as the user face. And we have thousands of data streams, and we were fortunate enough to be able to get a copyright on this platform. So this is how it looks. The information is organized, standardized. It's also synchronized between the information and the tools. And then we randomly display it. Now, we have all of these things, not just because we're techies, but because this is what parents have told us over years that they wanted to see all in one place. And then on top of that, helpful interactive tools. So if you could imagine having Google, Amazon, YouTube, and Facebook all in one place for every category of information, that's what our platform does. And then if you could imagine beyond that, interactive tools like Wikipedia, Yellow Pages, SurveyMonkey, Groupon, and PubMed, this is also what we've tried to integrate with the rest of the platform.
And you know, John, the one thing that I'm remembering that sticks out in my mind when you showed me this at the conference is that I think you mentioned it's synchronized. That's what prompted me to remember. when all those things change, like when the Facebook group changes or the something else change, you know, some resource you're connected into changes, you automatically track that. Is that correct?
We do. We have special software that tracks that. We also track broken links. And we have a lot of websites that connect to our
Mm-hmm.
website. And as you know, with the internet, websites break or momentarily have issues. So we get a report every week about those, and we ask our researchers to follow through on those.
Great.
It's a really interesting website where you can search and share, and we believe that it reduces stress and saves time and money along the way. So we've shown this to dozens of practitioners, doctors, nutritionists, therapists, and they told me that they believe this is the one common thing, that they'll save time by referring patients to the Autism Exchange instead of trying to explain all things autism. You know, practitioners can't help but want to do that to help parents and other caregivers. But at the same time, there are only so many hours in a day. So I've had several practitioners tell me, boy, we would just love to refer them here. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was happy to hear that.
Sounds awesome. It sounds like a dream come true.
Well, it is. And the dream was born out of a nightmare of not being able to find information. So without further ado, I would like to give you a live demonstration of our site. So let me stop this share and
That'd be
screen
awesome.
share the website. Okay, so you can see my website, I assume, here.
Yes.
Okay, so the child, and this is not me and my child. This whole site's not about me, but the child is the center of the focus. So that's what the graphics people tried to make this. And so what may look like a typical website when you first glance at it is anything but. There's a tremendous amount of software running in the background, but in the foreground, my big requirement was it has to be seamless to the parents. So we polled a lot of parents, and we had focus groups in 2014 and 2015, and we had a soft launch in 2016. And these are the categories that the parents told us they wanted the most, that they searched the most. And then we had subcategories. So like you might have biomedical conditions, and we started with autism. And the next thing you know, parents kept emailing us and say, can you add this? Can you add that? Can you add this? Can you add that? And so we said, yeah, as long as it's kind of related to autism, we'll add it. And we curate things. We have researchers make sure everything's, you know, kosher. And we have a list of contributing factors also. You're seeing categories and subcategories, but once we land on one of these pages, I'll show you how it's not just organized, but standardized and synchronized, like I mentioned. So we started with one diet here, and now we have several diets. Daily living, I mentioned to you, is like legal, maybe a special needs trust or guardianship, and housing for young adults, and jobs, and all kinds of financial considerations like government funding and Social Security. And then transitioning to adulthood is a big deal. And there are several educational methods that are on here, and we can add, change, or delete anything we want. There are several kinds of therapies on here that different parents wanted to see, and our advisory board talked to us about. And then we had guidance for parents and new parents, and then advanced parents said, what about us? And then the doctor said, what about prevention tips? And so we've added that, and then people asked us to add a blog. So this is what we have so far. We don't change this on our own. Generally, the parents and the practitioners ask us to change this. So what's the most interesting thing that I really wasn't expecting with this platform is it changes kind of on its own. And I'll show you what I mean about that. We control it to a certain extent, but really this moves in a direction that the parents want it to move. If parents want to focus on different conditions, it will move in that direction, or different diets. So that's one of the more interesting aspects. So
Hey,
now I'm going to give you.
John, one question about that. When you say it'll move it in the direction parents want, so do parents email you to give feedback, or is there a place on the website where they can say, hey, I'd really love to see this resource?
Yeah, it's both really. They can contact us by using the contact us feature right here, or they can. There's a way that they can upload to the site, and we call that the exchange box, which is really like a Wikipedia function.
Mm.
So, and I'll get to that in a second. I just want to give you one example of how the organized information. Let's use the gluten-free, casein-free example. So every category and subcategory that I showed you has the same standardized kind of page here. So for example, you'll see a small paragraph. We try to keep it brief, an introductory paragraph. And then you'll see related sites. And this is like, instead of going to Google, you can click to see more. You can come here and see for the subject of gluten-free, casein-free, and the format's the same for all of these. But for gluten-free, casein-free, these sites here come from all kinds of other places, whether it's Google or Bing or whatever the case might be. And so let's say you saw a website or a book for gluten-free, casein-free, and these are all books that are related to the diet. But let's say you wanted to add a book. So you could come up here to the interactive tools, and you could click on exchange box, because we put information out, right? And parents exchange information back, or practitioners. So this is the exchange box, and you can say, I'm a parent, and my exchange pertains to diet, the gluten-free, casein-free diet, and there's a book I have, and you put the title, the best GFCF book, and then you put the website link and a couple sentence description, and then you hit submit. If it's copyrighted, you click that, but then you hit submit. So what will happen to that information is the software will take it and it'll put it in diet, gluten-free, casein-free, and it'll put the book right here. But the book will be invisible. It'll be invisible until our researchers review it, and that's what's called curation. So our researchers will curate it. And, is it about autism? Make sure it doesn't have profanity, or it's not something that people would strongly object to or whatever. So we curate that, and then very simply, they flip a switch in the software and the book appears with all of the correct information.
Wow,
And it's
that's
the same
incredible.
thing. Yeah, and that's what I think parents and practitioners enjoy the most. It's the same thing with websites. If you're aware of a website that you don't see here, you can kind of give back to the community by using the exchange box and uploading it yourself in about a minute.
What's that? Click down to the end of the under related sites there. Not click, but scroll where it says here, click here if you have info to add. Is that just like the exchange box?
That takes you to the exchange box.
Thank you.
What we wanted to do is we wanted to make it easy. Everything is designed to be easier on parents. So as a parent, you could click the exchange box. Every category has the tools on the left, or you could go to interactive tools that are there. But we said, well, while they're in related sites, you can click to see more, but you can also click here if you have info to add. That way it takes you right there. So this is a website. These are websites. So the software knows, hey, they were in diet, gluten-free, casein-free related sites. It knows that.
Oh.
So it already fills those out for you.
Okay, John, hang on a second. So someone named Coco raised their hand. What I'm going to suggest is if you have a question while John's speaking, going through the website, to go ahead and type it into the chat. And that way he can keep on with this flow, and I'll monitor the questions and I can ask them. How's that sound?
Yeah, and I'd be more than happy.
Great.
I'll answer anything anyone has.
So go ahead and type your question, Coco.
Hello. Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Yes,
Okay, well, go ahead and ask your question then. Okay.
yes, sure, thanks. The big question by us is many correct don't want say autism.
Are you saying parents don't want to say autism?
Exactly. That's the big problem by us.
Okay, so you're saying that parents don't want to say autism, so you don't want to use this autism site?
Yes, but they say psychose. Psychose. A big name we have don't to say this name because psychose and neurose they are not the same problem because autism exists is exactly the brain and not only psychiatric problems. And by
Yeah.
us, it's very complicated. In Europe,
Yes. What I suggest is you, whether or not you want to use the word autism, I think autism is actually a word that it's a syndrome. It covers a lot of different things, as we saw when John went under the biomedical. There's all different things contributing. So just whether you want to call it autism or not, if this works for you as far as a resource, then go ahead and use it. And if you don't want to use the word autism, maybe it's still a good resource.
sure.
I
Exactly.
mean, if I could interject,
Sure.
one thing I would say to Coco is I also, as a parent, kind of object to labels. I never really have liked labels, and certainly autism is a label, so I don't like it either. But when I've traveled around the country going to autism conferences, and so I use this as a resource for caregivers and practitioners regarding autism. Um, but I don't like labels. I agree with you there. But we wanted a familiar place for parents to come. So it's a good resource, but I do object to labels. So I get your point. That's the way I would say it.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And we have someone asking if there's a cost to the service, which I know you're going to get to.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. But what I would say right now is all of the information and all of the tools are free. And the only cost is if you decide to join the discount club, which I'll cover in a minute, then there's a cost to that, and I'll show you that. This is like the Groupon function, but the information and the tools are all free. So what we've covered so far is the Google-like function and the related sites, the Amazon type function in the books, and then every category has tools. Tools could be anything like YouTube videos or manuals or recipe books or whatever the case may be. And then this is the Facebook and Yahoo group type section. So after researching a lot of information, a lot of parents want to talk to other parents. And so one of the best ways to do that is to go to Yahoo groups or Facebook. So what we decided to do was bring those to you. So if you're looking for the GFCF diet, for example, to help your child, and you've looked at all of the websites and you've researched some of the books and looked at some of the tools, then you're ready to talk to parents. Instead of going to Facebook or Yahoo groups, we've kind of hand-picked some groups that you could go to without even going there to look. So you just click on them and log in to Facebook or Yahoo, and boom, you would have the group and you could join it. So that's just something that's real nice that parents, it's another thing you don't have to search. So the main
Click on
point,
one of those. Would you just click on one of those so we can see? Does it actually take you out of your website to the group? Okay.
yeah. So there you are. You're in a Yahoo group called the GFCF Recipes group,
Thank you.
and you can decide to join the group. So what that does is it just saves you time as a parent from having to go find that. A lot of parents might not know that even exists, that group. That was a Yahoo group. So the main goal of this site is without going to a half dozen or a dozen different sites. You can stay all on one page for Google websites, Amazon books, YouTube videos, and Facebook groups. And then we have all of these interactive tools. I already showed you the Exchange box. This is the community library. Again, the software knows that you were in diet, gluten-free, casein-free, and it picked out 3 articles related to gluten-free, casein-free. But if you wanted to, you could come up here and you could click community library, and our doctor is Dr. Dan Rosignol. I just type in the keyword search, and you see a lot of articles. This is like going to one of the medical sites. He's got a whole bunch of articles related to autism. We have other interactive tools like the directory. This is kind of like the yellow pages I talked about. Parents told us what they want. So if you want to look at a practitioner's list, what we've done is we have a bunch of practitioner lists from Generation Rescue or like the Medical Academy of Pediatric Special Needs. We did not want to reinvent the wheel. So you could use their lists. And to make it easy on parents, we list all those practitioner lists. A lot of parents compound their medications to take out sugars and dyes and lactose. And here's a list of compounding pharmacies across the country. It's just
so those links there, sorry. If you
go back to that?
Yeah, just to clarify something. So that first one, you have Hopewell Pharmacy and Compounding Center. So if people click on that, they're going to go to their website. So everything
that's right.
And like you mentioned, the Medical Academy of Pediatrics for practitioners. So you're not updating that, but when they update their website, you all of a sudden have all the updated information. So basically all these links are as updated as those individual pharmacies and practitioners and everything. Correct?
Yeah, that's a good point. We're kind of like a gateway, a switchboard operator where we send you everywhere for the information that you want.
Okay, great.
But you can add whatever you want here. We have a prescription drug lookup. Lab test companies are popular, so parents wanted to know about the lab test companies. They love to research stuff like this. And I showed you some of these other things too. So that's the information. I just went over one example for you, just that one example out of all this information. And I went over the tools. So now I'll talk to you.
Survey says you have a tool in there that says survey says.
We just took our survey down, but what we do is we have we ask parents different questions like what do they have they seen anything they like, or are there things they don't like, or problems they're seeing. Like one survey we did, they're having problems at doctor's offices in the waiting rooms, and that was a big problem for parents. So we asked about that. So we have the capability to ask any kind of survey that we want, but we rely on parents to tell us the kinds of questions they would like asked. So that's what that's all about.
Great, thank you.
So the discount club, what we do is we work pretty hard to provide savings on a wide variety of products and practitioner services. And what's interesting about it is we use the same categories as I just showed you over here. So we thought to make it easy, let's use for products the same categories, and for practitioner discounts the same categories. So if you join the discount club, then you get 25% off Emerson Ecologic supplements, and you get these 2 coupons here just for joining. These are the benefits being a discount club member. We've partnered with, told you, Emerson Ecologics. They are a national distributor of supplements, and they're very high quality supplements. So if I click on that, that'll take you to our supplement page, and you can get to that from here also. So this shows that we partnered with them, and you could click here to see dozens of supplements. They have like 300 brands, and our doctors and nutritionists picked 60 out of the 300, so about 20%. They said these are the ones that we recommend the most. I talk about the quality program, and then you get, just for being an Autism Exchange Discount Club member, you get 10% off all orders all the time. That's a bronze member. If you spend $50 or more on 3 orders, then you get 15% off future orders all the time. And then 6 orders, and you get 20% off future orders all the time. So a lot of parents buy vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, fish oils, and all kinds of other supplements. There's just a whole range of supplements. There's also beauty care. Here, my wife wanted like natural cosmetics, and some of the companies, some of the brands have that in it. And it's free shipping over $49, by the way.
Okay,
So,
John, I'm going to have to pause you for a sec because someone just asked a question, which I had earlier too, is so you're partnered with Emerson and people can order this stuff and get discounts. What about international? Because there's a lot of people from other countries who are listening in. Curious about that.
Yeah, so I've been asked that question before, and I have not been able to crack that nut yet. I want to be able to do that, but there are some hurdles associated with international ordering and delivery. I'm sure that it's been solved by companies out there, but I'm just small, you know, I'm not one of the large companies. So I've been talking to some of the larger supplement suppliers about how to make that happen. But unfortunately, as of today, I have not found a way to make that happen. I would love to be able to do that.
Okay, so right now it's for U.S. customers only and not Canada even?
Yeah, that's correct, because I haven't solved that problem. That's a large company kind of a problem to solve, and I haven't been able to solve it. My first step was to make this, it took 5 months to create this partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to support the autism community. They love what the Autism Exchange is all about. And I wanted to be able to get quality supplements and a wide variety of them. I can show you our supplement brands here real quick. We have 60 supplement brands, and we're adding more. But you know, some of the more popular ones like Nutrimetics, you know, Nature's Way, Metagenics, Kirkman's, Claire Labs, Integrative Therapeutics, Carlson, Da Vinci Labs. There's Douglas. There's some BioRay, Barlean's oil. There's some really quality supplements here.
Well, and the thing is about those is that, like, you mentioned Nutrimetics, they're not going to have just one thing. They're going to have a whole line of different supplements. So each one is a whole line of different supplements.
Yeah,
There's lots and lots of choices.
Yeah, so
I want to just say one other thing, and I have a feeling this is a question someone can write on your contact form, but someone's asking, they said, I work at a natural food store. Is there a way to work together with small family-owned businesses to get some sort of partnership as well? And does that sound like they should submit that question to you in a contact form maybe?
could you repeat the question?
Yeah, someone who works for a small family-owned business, a natural food store.
Okay.
And how would they partner with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So click on the contact us and introduce yourself and your company. And absolutely, we get contacts like that all the time, where people say, hey, we would like to advertise our products or our service on here. Right now, we're actually doing it for free. But yeah, absolutely. Just hit the contact us and introduce yourself to us. It's worth mentioning or expanding on what you said, Luminaire. These 60 quality supplement brands represent over 9,000 products. Mm-hmm. Every brand has, you know, hundreds and hundreds of products. So this represents over 9,000 products. There's a lot to choose from. And just like our information, these brands are curated by the doctors and nutritionists and parents. You know, we look at it too. So that's just supplements. So if you're a member of the discount club, you know, you get that. There's also product coupons, like, you know, special diet foods, education, things like that. And then you'll see practitioner discounts, whether it's doctors, nurse practitioners, education, or therapists, things like that. And we have some highlighted discounts too. So let me show you how this works. So you can come here, you can look at supplements, you can view all discounts or product or practitioner discounts. So you come in here, and this is looking at all discounts. So this is an educational method, and they're giving a free 30-minute consult. And right now, while these ads are free, I'm just saying, I will advertise you for free, your logo, a link to your site, a paragraph about you, and then what you're offering, if you offer something to the parents. So again, we're exchanging things. We give the supplier something, they give something back to the parents. And that's been working real well so far. This is an allergist, pediatric dentist, autism doctor. This is occupational therapy, another food discount. And then you can just click to see more. And it'll show you different kinds of discounts on the next page. These are both kind of gluten-free things. This is another kind of a diet bakery. Here's a couple compounding pharmacies. Whoops. You get the picture of what we have. And so there's a lot of work that goes into this. Some of these are direct contacts. I meet them at a conference, or they'll find out about the Autism Exchange, and they'll send me a contact us. And we just keep putting more and more people. I think there's about 100 on here now.
That's excellent. So someone is asking if, so these all, to me, from what I know, look US based, and I'm wondering if you cover international markets. So someone's wondering if they can put international sources on the Autism Exchange.
Yes, if they can sell to the US, like if somebody can buy the product from the United States without any problems, then yes, we can put them on here. But the reverse is what the hard part is, selling overseas. That's been the hard part for me. But from overseas, selling to people in the United States, we can do that as long as there's an easy way for the caregivers to buy the products from here.
Yeah. Well, you know what, even if people couldn't buy stuff from, so Coco, I just saw your comment, you said by you, where she is, which I'm not sure which country, no doctors are really learning about autism. So this would be an awesome resource for people in other countries where there isn't a lot of resources, where you can send even the doctors and the parents to this exact, at least the information exists, right?
That's an excellent point, because I've been to 3 doctors conferences, the MAPS, Medical Academy and Pediatric Special Needs Conference, and they are the gold standard for training autism doctors and all kinds of practitioners. And so I met a lot of doctors from overseas there, and several countries actually, in China and in India and countries in Europe, and they want to take this back so that they can show this to their patients, just like the doctors in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I logged out so that you could see what it costs for the discount club. Again, the information, the tools are free. The discount club, you can join for $6 a month, which is $72 a year, or we call it an awesome deal. Save 25% from $72 down to $54 for the whole year using this promo code. And you get these 3 discounts just for applying. And then you go through just like you would purchase anything else, and you can buy the discount club. So the other thing that I should tell you is we put out a newsletter. The site goes over how we can save you money, and the tools I went over with you for how we can save you time. We also have an ambassador rewards program where if you tell like a local autism support group about us, we'll give you a discount. And then you can join, you can type in your email here and join our free newsletter. And just for joining our free newsletter, which we've been trying to send out every month until this fall. I got so busy that I've missed a few months. So I'm going to get back on a newsletter, but it's free and you get a discount just for signing up for the newsletter. So because we have all of these discounts that I've showed you, we have the ability to give discounts out. If people just sign up for our newsletter, we'll give you a discount. If you refer us to an autism support group, we'll give you a discount. If you sign up.
When you're saying we'll give you a discount if you sign up and we'll give you a discount, what's the discount on?
Well, we get discounts in two ways. One, when we go to conferences, we go to all the exhibitors and get discounts. But the other way is somebody introduced me to Groupon, which I mentioned in my briefing, and one of the managers really liked this. And so what he did was he connected me with 3 very large national networks where I could kind of be a Groupon for autism. I can get discounts. And so we try to get discounts according to these categories here. And if we see things that, say, an autism caregiver would like, even if it's like borderline, we'll put them in here. And so sometimes when we get those, we'll say, oh, we like that discount. We'll send it to somebody that signs up for the newsletter, for example, or the ambassador program.
Okay,
so we're able to get a lot of discounts.
Would this discount already be on the Autism Exchange site, or it would be just kind of they come and go, and it's the one that's up there at the moment?
So it's really both. They do come and go, but you notice that I'm logged out right now. I logged out to show you what it costs to join. But let me just show you. Let me go back and show you one of them. So now, if you're not a member, so you haven't joined, you're not logged in, you'll still see all of the companies and the people that provide discounts, but you won't see the discount codes down here.
Okay.
So if I send you something for the newsletter, it would come with the codes.
Oh, got it.
So they come and go. A lot of them keep signing up for 6 more months, etc. And I try to keep them up to date. It's been a little tough as we get more and more and more, but we're doing the best that we can to keep our arms around all the information. So there's a lot going on here. There's a ton of organized, standardized information. It's synchronized. I show you how it's synchronized with the tools. And it's randomly displayed. I didn't specifically point that out, but if you see book A, B, and C, the next time you go to that page, it'd probably be book B, C, and A. So parents wanted it to randomize. So we got a ton of free information and tools, and we have the discount club here. That's all I have to show you, and I'll be more than happy to take any other questions.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. It's so rich with information. I appreciate all the time and effort you and your helpers went through to get this. And someone made a comment, which is interesting. It's from Andrea. I can't wait to see the evolution of this. It's already large. Wait until the exchange is combined where genome information data can be privately uploaded and then it can be customized to the individual. So we already have a request there, I think.
Oh, so they want to put individual healthcare information?
Like their genomic information.
Oh.
The genomic data.
That's a good point, actually. We would have to look into the HIPAA laws, but it's been done before. And actually, we were talking to one of the insurance companies about that. I did want to tell everyone one more thing, Luminara.
Yes.
Under this section called Daily Living, this is the fastest growing section of our website. And I've been getting a lot of requests over the last half year. We just launched this, by the way, in March of 2017. So after 3 years of work, it's less than a year that we launched. So I hope that everyone will visit the website and tell your friends and practitioners. But I did want to say that this section is growing wildly. And the reason I believe that's true is because the first wave of children have become adults.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think it's hard to navigate healthcare and diets and education, wait until you get into the section where you have to navigate guardianship and jobs and housing and Social Security and Medicaid waivers. It's very difficult to get your arms around. You know, diets, you can kind of get your arms around that in education. These things here are very difficult to get your arms around. So I have a question, and I just have one question. I would like to hear what everyone thinks about this. We've been seriously looking at providing coaching for all of this because it's so difficult. And even though most counties in the United States have people to help you through this, I've talked to parents in numerous states, and it's abysmal, the support that you get at the county level in the states. I've been passed around to over 6 different people, and I'm still not getting the help I want. And I ran into a coach in another state that's been helping me. And so I'm curious to hear, for those that may have teenagers that are on the spectrum or older adults or who have thought about this, what do you think about the idea of somebody coaching you through all of these categories here?
Well, I can say that just sounds like a really amazing idea because, oh, I hear a big yes from someone. Yeah, people, like you said, it's kind of the first wave of the big amount of people with autism coming through and becoming adults. And I mean, there are some, obviously, and it's like you're, creating the way for all the rest who are going to come behind. It's figuring it out. We're at the figuring it out at a societal level stage. So I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that other caregivers and parents would appreciate something like that. But were there any other comments on that? I'd like to hear what people think, just maybe in the next minute.
I'll read them real quickly. There's a few that have come up. And then there's another question. Okay. Sounds like a great idea. Big yes. Oops. Moving on me. I believe that coaching through those categories would be amazing. I've been working with social worker, and the social workers also struggle. The social system is a mess. Sounds like that's a yes.
Okay.
And someone said even like creating a virtual tour. I'm not sure if that's related to what you're talking about. Sounds like it.
Okay.
Like a virtual, I don't know. It sounds like there's such individual questions. So I don't know if you could do like something common to all.
I think I know what they're saying, though. You could do a standard kind of virtual tour, and then you could have person-to-person coaching.
Yeah, something like that. And someone says, I think that each state needs a separate coach. There's another yes. Oh, that you got the concept that Nazim was asking.
Okay.
Nazmin was asking about you got the right idea of the virtual tour thing. Yeah. I think that's a big yes, at least from the people who are on here. And we're recording this, so other people will listen. So if you've gotten this far in the recording and you want to give feedback, go ahead and use the contact form on the Autism Exchange website.
Yeah, and that's just under About Us at the bottom.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to listen to the Autism Exchange and see the demo and answer that question about the daily living, what we call daily living coaching. I talk to parents all the time. I love to hear parent feedback. Every time I go to a conference, I ask every single parent that I see what their story is. So I love to hear parent feedback. That's what this is all about.
That's awesome. Someone asked, will you be training the coaches?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is yes. I met a lady in North Carolina who's an autism mom, and she's the best coach that I've run across. I know a lot of people that kind of do this, but this lady's amazing. She has 70 clients, and she's helping me right now.
Wow.
And she loves the Autism Exchange. And I've been talking to her for months about this idea, and she's agreed to be the trainer. She actually has a pretty good process too. So what we would be doing there, just as we're kicking it around, is under daily living, we would create a category called daily living coaching, or can we help you today, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So parents know, maybe it would be in blue or something. So parents would know, yeah, I would like to get it. And we would have a whole page on what it means to be a coach and what the coach can provide you.
Right. It would be obvious. Sure.
Yeah, it would be obvious. A long way to go. And, but I'm hearing a lot of people really struggle, and I'm being serious with you. Personally, as a dad, I'm really struggling with this myself. I've tried, one example is I've tried to get the med waiver for our two boys, and it's been 3 months and counting. The application's in, and I'm still waiting. So it's not like, you know, you want to try the gluten-free diet. It's not like that. It's not like an educational therapy. It's really, it's a dry subject. No one likes to talk about this stuff, you know, Medicaid waivers and Social Security, but it's absolutely critical, because without it, your child may not get the resources that they need.
Right.
So that's why we're pushing kind of this idea that we could get coaches to help.
Yeah, I think that's such a great idea. There was one last question. I'm just going to switch the topic for the moment. And the discount code for the yearly membership. You can find it on the website, but can you just say what that is again?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I think it was for signing up for all 12 months of the,
Yeah,
of the shop.
here it is right here. Deal 25.
Okay.
Deal
You.
25. And you would just put that, the promo code
Yeah.
Deal 25 right here, like it says right here.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any last questions? I mean, people have been typing in a lot. Okay, hang on. Great presentation. Oh, it says the comment is a 500 character max. It's hard for me to talk about our business in less than that.
Yeah, we try to make things short for parents. You see, these here are pretty short. You just want to give the parent, this is about the parents, you just want to give them a taste of what your company's about. And what we found out is when you get to like a half page or more, you start to lose parents. And,
right, they don't read anymore.
They don't read anymore. So this entire site is based on saving time and money. So everything is compressed.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm just going to, Coco, I see your hand is still up. I don't know if that's from earlier. I'm going to mute you. Did you have a question? Coco, are you there? Okay, so maybe that was from earlier. Okay, well,
So,
oops. Coco, are you there? Okay, someone was there. Is someone else there having a question?
yes, the question is what I say. I work with Patrick, Canada, to include autism, but by us, school is a big, big, big problem.
Where are you located?
Sorry?
Where do you live?
Here, by us, France, Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And Paris, it's not the same with Canada as Canada. And by us, no educative teacher wants to have autism in school. It's a big problem by us.
Yeah, it sounds like the school system isn't set up really for autistic kids.
Exactly, because I have to take many young autism.
Mm-hmm.
Not in France, but Luxembourg. That's the problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure the Autism Exchange or we could do anything about that, but you could send people to the Autism Exchange to look at a lot of those resources.
Sure.
That's right, to help educate parents.
Sure.
Even in the U.S., we have that problem, Coco.
Yes, okay.
Every state is different. Some states have really good autism education systems, and other states do not.
Yes, I
It's
know.
dependent upon the state. So we have that problem in the United States also. We have a lot of pockets of good and not so good.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah.
I say we have to work in the world exactly the same rules, but it's not possible.
Well, we're trying with the Autism Exchange, we're trying to do our little part, just a small part, to help caregivers and practitioners.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
thank you for sharing that, Coco. I mean, really, my heart goes out to you. I'm not sure what to, how to do anything about that, except to educate, to keep educating people. You're going to be the first wave there in Paris. You're going to be the leader,
Yes, and hey, if I have time, I want to see you in your land, in your country, please, next year. Okay?
Okay, that'd be great.
For me, a pleasure for me.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, John. I think that you've opened a lot of people's eyes, practitioners and parents, and there's just a huge resource here. And thank you so much for taking all the time and consulting with everybody and all the people who, check your information. I just really thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on your webinar. I definitely appreciate the time that everyone took to listen about the Autism Exchange. And I appreciate your time being on the webinar. And I wish everyone a Happy New Year.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining and listening after the fact. And
I
get
wish
the most out of it.
you.
Thank you.